Good evening, everybody. Happy 30th of June, last day of June. Patrick here, Pat on Your Back Personal Fitness. Welcome to our special halftime report, the Pat on Your Back Personal Fitness halftime report. If you know me, you know I do enjoy sports. I enjoy watching sports, playing sports, and there's usually quarter breaks, quarters, periods, halves. There's some kind of break in between where there can be some strategy played, where some plans are made, teams make adjustments to what's been working, what doesn't work, what the opponent's doing to them. And hey, Janice, and we're in that stage here tonight. So we're going to talk tonight about a halftime report. Tomorrow's July 1st. We're halfway through the year. So we're going to look at ways to attack that second half and finish the year strong. Hopefully like we've been doing these past 6 months. So again, halftime is a great time to check in. We talk about monthly check-ins. I usually at the end or beginning of a month, I'll remind you to do some of your check-ins. How's your progress? Where are you on your steps towards working towards that big goal that you have set for yourselves? And this is no different, but now we're doing a big 6-month check-in. We're halfway through the year. It's a great time to take a moment to pause, reflect a little bit, and strategize for the second half of the year so we can finish on that good note. So we want to make sure that we can accomplish what it is we set out to accomplish. So for a lot of us, we set goals and resolutions, we call them maybe in January. And again, if you've been with me, hopefully we started that back in October, November, getting things ready and planned so that we could head into the new year on that good note and already have some momentum behind the resolutions. For some people, they set the resolutions and I think it's about 98% or something don't succeed with the resolutions. Hey, Vapor from Addicts, good to see you. Welcome. A lot don't, it's like a 98% that don't succeed with the resolutions because a lot of them, if we talked about the planning isn't there, the goal's too vague, it's not specific as it should be, and there's no plan or plan B or plan C or a backup plan or contingency plan, or it doesn't work and we just kind of give up on it really quickly. And that's not how things work. Things take time, things take practice, things take trial and error, and that's what we're all about here. So we're gonna go through just a few quick tips of what to look for, how to set up your kind of remaining 2021. And again, if you're with me before, you heard me mention back in January or February, we're gonna make this a great year. It wasn't just going to happen. Everybody thought, oh, 2021 is going to be great because 2020 was such a gong show. It was such a mess with everything that went on and happened. But it's not just going to happen itself. We have to make it that way. So we can have a great end of 2021, but again, we have to make it happen. It's not just going to happen for us or to us. We have to create that energy and create that that greatness that we want to achieve. So yes, it's going to, hey, Bonnie, welcome. Yes, it is going to take work. But that's okay. Good things are worth working for. Anything you've done in your life that was worth having took a bit of work. Think of just growing up and learning how to walk, crawl, run, jump, skip, throw, ride a bike, skate, ski. It all took practice. It all took work. It all took consistency and patience. And it took a bit of a plan. Maybe you didn't formulate the plan, which we're going to get a little more into here. We're going to suggest to do that. But there was a plan, there were strategies. Maybe your parents had the plan to help you. And that plan has probably been passed on for a few different generations of helping you learn to walk or learn to run or learn to ride a bike and go through those stages. So first thing I want you to do in our reflection or halftime reports, again, think of it, if you watch sports, halftime, quarter break, period, intermission, however you want to call it, you meet in the locker room and you go over your plans. You go over what's been working. You reflect on what you did in that first half. And we're looking at halves here, but you're looking at what's gone on so far. What's worked? What hasn't worked? What did you think would work but didn't this time? Maybe it did in the past, but now it's not. What is your opponent doing to you that you have to adjust to and maybe you didn't plan for? What is life doing to you? Life is your opponent. What is it doing to you that you didn't plan for? Is the pandemic lasting longer than we all expected it to this year, let alone last year? But again, even this year, we're halfway through and it's still pertinent in a lot of places that a lot of you viewers are in. So that put a damper on things. Things shut down again. Things scaled back in different places. Things opened and reclosed and kind of opened and closed again. So there's been lots of curveballs thrown our way, lots of things we've had to adjust to and overcome to get through this. So we want to sit and take a few minutes, get out your paper, get out your notebooks or something that you keep track of. Whatever it is, you keep track of things in a workout journal, even just a piece of blank paper that you can write your notes on, and just sit back, reflect. Hopefully you've got your goals somewhere on a piece of, that would have been easier than getting that book out, on a paper somewhere, or maybe post it up somewhere where you can see them. Bring that with you. How is it going? How is your progress? How is your plan working? Were you able to accomplish some of the goals? Hopefully, yes. And again, reward yourself, acknowledge that accomplishment for accomplishing that goal. Give yourself the recognition you deserve. We don't do that enough either. We highlight the times when we struggle and our failures, but we don't celebrate the successes as much as we should. So make sure you do that. Acknowledge yourself for the job well done, for the accomplishments you've made, the steps you've taken, even if maybe your goals haven't been fully accomplished yet. Look at the steps you've taken, again, in the midst of the pandemic, in the midst of all these social issues that have been going on throughout the past 2 years, really, in our world. And not that they've only been going on at this time, but they're more at the forefront now because more people are taking in media. More people have media to be able to show and expose some of these things going on. You've been able to weather the storm and go through and get some of these accomplishments done, or even just things in motion. Again, if you're not there yet, just plans in place. That's accomplishments for a lot of us. So give yourself that pat on your back that you deserve. Sorry, Instagram is backwards, but you get the idea. That you deserve for those accomplishments. So sit, reflect, check in with your goals that you set earlier this year, maybe just a couple months ago. Hopefully, again, back November, December, you kind of set some things to start in motion in January. If it's January, February, that's okay. Still a good time. We've got 6 months left of the year. So even if you haven't been working towards your goal for 6 months, you still have 6 months to look ahead and finish this year off on a good note. So let's keep that in mind and keep those plans in motion as we're going through. So take out your goals, find them where they're written down. Hopefully, again, they're somewhere where you see them all the time, because that reminds you of them, helps keep you on track, helps you make good choices that gear up with those goals that you've set. But if not, find them, bring them out. If they're on your notepad, on your phone, whatever it is, bring them out, reflect on them, review them. How did you do? Did your plans work? Maybe one plan was for this goal. Maybe you had a different plan for this goal. Was one more successful than the other? Maybe that's the plan you need to put in place for other goals. Again, we've talked before about having a system. The idea being we set a goal, we achieve it, then we know what system works for us. And then we can take that system and apply it to other areas of our life. So we just adapt to the changing goal rather than trying to start from scratch every time we put something in play. And that's the goal. That's what high performers do. That's what companies do. You'll see they have a system in place. Hey, Teresa, they have systems in place. They have processes in place that you follow. So whether I visit the company or you visit the company website or interact with them, there's a process in motion. We want the same thing for ourselves, so that if you have to homeschool your kids for a year because of the pandemic, you go through that process. Hopefully you've got some other thing to draw from to say, you know what, I had to modify maybe my work schedule and work remotely for a little bit, or work while I was away once, and it was tricky. Maybe I can bring some of that experience to homeschooling the kids. Maybe I can bring some of that to working from home. Again, we want to build that system, that repertoire. If you don't have one, that's okay. This hopefully will help you do that, this goal setting and this achievement, so that while we work through this, again, you've got the policies in place, the procedures in place to help you have the success that you deserve to have in all facets of your life. Because again, we're not just looking fitness, we're not just looking exercise, we're talking all well-rounded life. And the more we can put kind of those policies in place, then again, we'll have more success in other areas of our life. And if we're working on this component of our life with that kind of plan and that system, then chances are that's going to drag some of these other areas of our life up with it anyway. Because when we improve one, it affects other facets of our life. But then we can improve those other facets as well using the same system. So reflect on that. Reflect on your goals. Reflect on your process, your system. Did you have success? Did you not? If you did, again, try to replicate what worked. Try to look, hopefully you were tracking what you were doing in a bit of a journal or a workout log, or again, on your phone, whatever works for you. But hopefully you're keeping track of your progress along the way. That helps you track it and make sure you're on track. But again, now you can go back and look at that system. And maybe you take out exercise and you put in nutrition, or you put in sleep habits, or you put in productivity, And again, it won't be a carbon copy plan 100%, but you can kind of tweak and adjust an existing plan, which is less taxing and time consuming really than starting a brand new plan every time you want to do something. So look back, reflect, acknowledge the achievements, reflect on the lessons learned. We're going to say lessons learned, not failures or unsuccessful attempts. Lessons learned. So reflect on the lessons learned. So you didn't shave 2 minutes off your 5K time, but you shaved a minute. Maybe what could have made a difference? Or what things could you do differently next time? Or maybe you set yourself up differently to start out. What could you do to start that goal differently and to maybe have better success and results the next time? And then again, you can apply that to different facets. So acknowledge the achievements, reflect on lessons learned. We want to be sure we're always doing that because we want to grow. We always say here, ascend till the end. It's one of the hashtags we use. We always want to be growing and evolving until, again, the end, till we absolutely can't anymore to do that. So that's part of it, learning from those unsuccessful attempts, from learning from those hiccups that we had along the way, from those distractions, from those obstacles that we had that were thrown our way. Some things we can control, some things we can't control that happens. So we need to, again, to be able to work through those and learn and move and grow forward from them. Hey, Kimmy, yeah, we're back. We're back. Week 2 of being back. We took a little hiatus, but we're back now. Every Wednesday at 6, we're back. So great to see you, Kimmy. Thanks for being here. And again, yeah, we're back every Wednesday at 6. So hopefully we'll see you out here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. We're live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. So hopefully you'll join us then. We're just talking about, if you're just tuning in, we're just talking about our halftime report. We're halfway through the year. We're gearing up for the second half of the year. So we want to take some time to review the first half, the plays we ran, the strategy we put in place. Did it work? Did it not? And again, celebrate the achievements, the successes, and learn from our lessons, reflect on lessons learned. Then again, we want to look at what life has thrown at us. What is our opponent doing? How can we strategize for that? Life right now, in theory, for most of us, again, depending where you're watching from, is starting to open back up and get back to a little bit, I'm going to say a little bit of normalcy, but not returning to normal, because I don't want to return to the way I was a year and a half ago. I want to be better coming out of this pandemic, and hopefully you guys do too. So life itself will kind of get back to, maybe we'll say routine or kind of a day-to-day sort of normalcy, but we don't want to return to normal. I want to come out of this, again, like I said, even better and moving forward. So life's going to change. Maybe you're back at work. Maybe you're going to start work soon. Maybe you're still working from home, but occasionally going into work. Maybe your work has said, you know what? We're not going to have an office anymore. You can keep working from home because we save money and you're just as productive, if not more, because you're always around. That could be another topic for another day, but we can look at that. Music meditation. Good evening. Welcome, Mel. Good to see you. Great. Thanks for the glad to feedback on the topic. Always good to check in and reflect on our goals and make sure we're on track. So again, life is changing. Life is changing its strategy on you. Just like an opponent in hockey, I guess we'll say that the Stanley Cup Finals are on. Montreal had a tough game, the first game. So now they have to react to what Tampa Bay did to them. They have to respond and adjust their game plan and see what worked for them and what didn't, and what did Tampa do, and how can we change what they're doing, and know that Tampa's probably going to do some changes too to counteract what they're going to do. So life is doing that to us. What are we going to do to adapt to those changes? Life is hopefully opening up, returning to a bit of normalcy. How can you, adjust to getting back into the workforce and the work mode, maybe commuting every day again, maybe being in a cubicle or in an office or a shared space, maybe with some coworkers. I mean, you've had maybe your own space or your family around for the last little while, as being kind of your coworkers and colleagues. I kind of make the remark when I teach my classes sometimes, I've got a gym over there, I've got a school here, and there's a school upstairs in our house too at the same time. So our home became a multi-purpose facility for the past 15 months. So again, you have to adjust to some of those things opening up. There's probably going to be changes when you get back to work. There's probably going to be an influx of things to do. Maybe customers, if you're a consumer-based business. I know I looked, today was the first day in Ontario where you could get a haircut. I could get a haircut. The waiting list was backed. I looked at lunchtime before lunch, and you couldn't book any more appointments today because they were full. So you're going to have to wait through some of that influx of people. You may experience that influx of people coming to you to get your services again. Again, if you're in that consumer-based industry, you're going to have to adjust to different work days and if that structure again, where maybe you've been a little more relaxed these past few months because you've had a little bit of your own routine. So all these things are factors you have to think of. And again, if you haven't already, start now to plan for them going forward so that you can adjust and adapt quickly and swiftly to that normalcy that we're getting back to. And again, hopefully it's not back to normal the way it was March of 2019 or 2020, sorry, before then, but hopefully it's a new normal, but that normalcy of an everyday kind of routine is there for you. But let's plan what is going to go ahead. You know now what could potentially happen if there's a global pandemic. And the experts say that this can happen and will happen again, multiple times maybe. So now you know what's happened. If you've been with me, you know when I first started PatFacts and my online venture, I mentioned that I feel my time in Afghanistan working for the military really helped me prepare. My time in Afghanistan was isolated. There was restrictions. We couldn't do certain things. The equipment was held back sometimes. Deliveries were delayed. That all set me up for this so that I feel I didn't have to adapt to the stay-at-home kind of pandemic restrictions. I could focus on providing content online to you guys, whether through PatFacts or through my virtual fitness platform. So again, take the experiences you had, reflect on those as well. And again, celebrate those accomplishments, but think of how can you apply what you've learned about yourself these past 15 months or so into what's coming ahead. And then I also want you to think of what great things have come of this time. You've heard us talk with here. Also, if you tune into the other show, I'm a part of, the Three Wise Men and a Wiser Lady, Thursday nights at 9. If you're around and want to tune in with my pals Blake, Chris, and Maria, you've heard us say, don't let things wash away when the Blake says it so well, when the tides come back in of normalcy come in, don't let your those new habits you form, those new things just wash away in the current. So make plans to see what can happen for you to keep some of those good habits. Maybe you have to modify what it is you're doing. Maybe you can't do the thing you want to do for an hour at a time. Maybe it's half an hour. Maybe instead of every day, it's a couple times a week. But we shouldn't let all that stuff go just because normalcy is coming back or life is getting back to normal. We want to hold on to that. But again, it's going to take planning and preparation. So look at the opponent. The opponent is adjusting against you because they're opening things up. They're bringing things, again, back to that normalcy. How can we prep and prepare for that? How can we adjust what we've been doing these past 15 months or more to get back into that? So looking ahead, predicting, planning. Again, having multiple plans in place are very key and very important to do because we don't know. It's our first, for some of us, it's our fourth time coming out of a pandemic, but hopefully this will be fine. We'll actually get out of it and be able to move on. And again, we have to learn and work through this. So put those plans in place. Talk with your employer if you're going back to work, or what's expected, what's different, what's changing. Here's what I've been doing. Can maybe propose a bit of a schedule to them, or a bit of a proposal of a system. Here's how I think it would work for me to come out of this. Can we do a gradual transition? Or if you're concerned, again, about being around people or anything like that, talk to them, put those things out there and see. In my opinion, and again, this is just an opinion, it's not a factual thing or anything, but my opinion, because we've been through this, most places should be structured to be able to accommodate some working from home. So in my opinion, if you're uncomfortable, you should be able to relay that to your employer, and hopefully they can make adjustments for you. But again, come to them with that already. Maybe show them how productive you can be at home and explain the transition. But again, you know what works for you. That maybe is part of your plan. If you have family time, if you have workouts, you've been doing your exercise and your fitness. Again, maybe you don't have all the time now to put it in wherever because you're working. So maybe you have to tweak it and adjust it. Maybe you have to change the format of it, what you're doing. Maybe instead of an hour-long workout, maybe it's a HIIT workout. Hey, Philip. Maybe it's a 20-minute HIIT class. Maybe it's multi-joints. Maybe it's a morning and an afternoon, like a weights and a cardio or vice versa. Again, things are going to have to be played around. Maybe your meal prep has to be a different day or split into a couple different days, because maybe you don't have the time to get everything ready on a Sunday or on a Wednesday. Maybe you got to split it between a couple days. Again, really sit and reflect and look. So you've got the 30th. Tomorrow's a holiday for most of us. So again, take the time to work on yourself and put your game plan into motion. And again, even if you don't watch sports, it still fits. The analogy is still there. We're halfway now. You've had 6 months to work on things. You've got 6 months to finish. So now the strategy is still the same. It's just that the analogy might not make sense to you, but the strategy is still there. Think of anything really, an intermission of a play. Here's the scenes that are coming up. Remember, I got to think of my lines. Okay, last night when I did the death scene, I didn't quite nail it. I really want to nail it tonight to make sure I'm really convincing. Or I got to make for my cues or my marks to make sure I don't cut off my co-stars. Maybe things like that. If Blake's watching, you can critique my theater review. I don't have much of a theater background, but again, something like that where there's intermissions, there's breaks where you can reflect and look back on what's been working, what hasn't, what do we need to do to make sure we're going well forward. And that's what I want for you guys. So again, just to review what we've done so far, take some time. Again, carve out some time. Give yourself a couple hours. Maybe everyone gets to bed, get out your book, sit at a table, spread out your notes or whatever works for you, and just reflect, sit back. Hopefully, again, you've got your goals written down somewhere or posted, take those down. Or if you have your journal, flip through it. Watch what you've been doing. Watch what your progress was. Reflect back. Celebrate the victories, the accomplishments. Reflect on lessons learned in those areas where maybe we didn't get our accomplishments quite like we wanted to, but let's reflect on them and learn from them so we can learn how to evolve and grow and get better from them so we don't make those mistakes next time, or we know a different way to attack those goals the next time. And again, let's look at what life has thrown us. What did life do to us these first 6 months? What's life maybe going to do to us if we can kind of predict? And again, that's a prediction. We don't know for sure. So because it's a prediction, multiple plans are ideal. Have a plan to come out. And again, if you've been with us last, I think May or June, when we first kind of hit wave 1 of reopening here in Ontario, I talked about having an exit strategy to come out of post-pandemic plan. That's still the same thing. Plan how you're going to come out of this. Don't just go in because you'll go back to the way you were. Plan to come out of this. Get those things. I know some of you have new hobbies. Some of you have new pets since this started, new activities, new ventures, new jobs, new free time. Again, keep those things. You might not keep them exactly as they are now, but keep them because that's what makes you. That's what you enjoy doing because you've been doing it for 15 months. Hang on to those and look at ways to keep them in there. And again, move around as best you need to. And if you're not sure, look for a coach. Look for someone to sit with you and help you plan out your activities and figure things out. Maybe, again, it's shortening the time or how many times a week or what it is you're looking for to go through and keep yourself going. Cut for cut. That's a good exit strategy, cut for cut. I like that. Yeah, but ever do. Look at the ways to keep yourself moving forward and see what it is we can come out of this as. And this will help you, again, have the focus and keep yourself moving forward so you don't get overwhelmed by what's going to come back at us. And again, using the tide analogy that Blake uses so nicely. And if you've seen it, Blake was on with me on PatFacts where he talked about this, a 3-parter about a year ago now, I think it was. He was on. So if you go on, again, it is on YouTube and on Facebook. If you go on, he was on for 3 parts and he talked about that wave kind of coming back in of normalcy. And if you don't have things kind of tied down, they're just going to wash away. So we want to tie down those good habits that we've put in. Maybe I need to spend less time with people who are distracting me and causing trouble during a live stream. Maybe, I don't know, just throwing it out there. But we need to have that exit strategy again. Otherwise, we go back to the way things were. And we don't want that. We want to get better. We want to keep growing and really, again, hit this head on. And my goal for all of you back in March of last year when we started this was to come out of this better than we went into it. And that's still my goal for you. So let's put the time in. Let's put the work in. Let's focus on this. It seems maybe kind of fluffy in a little area, but if we can sit and plan and put a strategy in place, again, we're going to get even better results. If you look at top performers, if you look at high-level athletes, high-level performing teams, think back to our Raptors winning the championship a couple of years ago. They didn't just go and play the game. They strategized. They had a plan. They had different plays to run. They had to adapt to what what opponents were doing to them. They had to adapt to travel issues when they go. They have to adapt to just different plays that are run against them, different players being isolated, and who's gonna help that player that's being maybe double teamed and guarded. There's different strategies and plans that they practice so that when the game comes, they can have them ready and in place. But they practice them and they prepare them, and they don't just keep them the way they are. They reflect on them and they adjust them and adapt them as needed. And we need to do that as well, because things could work for you, but as things work and you improve, you change. Things around you change as maybe you see improvements, maybe you change jobs, maybe you have these new hobbies, you've changed. So this plan you started maybe doesn't work anymore. Maybe you need to add an extra day of working out. Maybe you need to add an extra day again of meal prep. Maybe you need to tighten up your nighttime routine to get better sleep, to be able to have yourself performing better the next day. Maybe that's what you need to do. So it's all about finding different ways to keep yourself moving forward and keep yourself evolving. And like we said, ascend till the end. So again, take some time. Use the holiday tomorrow. There doesn't seem to be a ton going on because of the pandemic and all the issues that are going on right now. Things seem pretty low key. So carve out some time for yourself. Plan the second half of 2021. Make sure that you're getting your hobbies in. Make sure that you're performing well when you're streaming and getting maybe more viewers in. Make sure you stay in that front row and don't get bumped out all the time like you have been now. Put some plans in place. Put some strategies in place so that you can be at the front of your group. You can lead your pack and sit in that front row and show everybody how it's done. Put those plans in place, but it takes work, it takes planning, it takes consistency, and it takes patience. We can do it, but again, it takes a bit of time. Take that time, reflect on the 6 months that were, look ahead to the 6 months that are coming, put the plans in place, the strategies in place, reach out if you need someone to help. And again, look at all the factors. We can only control the controllables, things we can control, but we try to be aware of what life could throw our way to, again, have those plans. We have more hypothetical situations now because we know there could be a global pandemic. There could be shutdowns and lockdowns and all that sort of thing. And I'm not here to hear your opinion on that stuff right now. That's your opinion. That's fine. I'm just saying we know it can happen. And now we have to plan how we can react to it. Like I said, I had the benefit of being in Afghanistan and being restricted in what I could use and who I could talk to and where I could go. I went through it for just over 6 months. So that part of it wasn't too difficult for me. I had to just adjust to other facets of my life, where I know some people had a really hard time with it. So again, use the experience you have, make your plans, reflect on what you've done, celebrate the accomplishments, reflect on lessons learned, plan ahead, make multiple plans, plan for what life is going to do to you, what your opponent is going to throw your way. Maybe that's your workplace and things like that. Other areas that are not just you. It's things that, again, you can't always control. What's work going to say that you have to do or bring you back in? So let's bring these things to the forefront. Let's plan for the rest of 2021. So that when we sit here and talk in October, November, December, getting into the end of that year, we can say, oh yeah, I checked off a bunch of stuff from July to now because I had a plan in place. I had a system in that I followed and went through, and I saw a lot of success. And that's what I want you guys all to say. And then again, you've got 6 months now of momentum and experience and knowing what works and what doesn't work that you can take right into 2022 with, and you can kick in that door. And if I remember, I think it was Kimmy that said, posted a meme when 2021 started. If it wasn't you, it might have been you. We'll say it was you for argument's sake. But someone posted a meme that said, make sure, guys, when 2021 gets here, don't make a loud noise. Just walk in quietly, take your time, and let's see what happens. And I commented it, and I think in caps and big letters, I'm kicking in the door because I'm going to make 2021 my good year. I'm going to show up and make sure it knows that I'm here. And that's what we want to do with 2022. We start that now. Don't start it December 31st. Start it June 30th so that tomorrow on July 1st, you can hit the ground running and have all that momentum behind you. Have that good momentum. Again, if you watch sports, it's a lot of momentum. You get some plays, get some easy buckets in basketball. Maybe you get a couple calls go your way. You get that momentum going. You put a gap between you and the other team. And then they're going to come back a little bit. And you have to weather that storm and go back on the offense again. And life's like that too. You want to hit the ground running, get out in front so that when life maybe tries to slow you down, there's a buffer zone. It doesn't have the effect on you. And you can weather that little storm and then get back into it and get going again, keep that momentum going. So just going to check in our ridiculous comments here, everyone. I'll try to stop laughing on cam, sorry. Lots of, that's right, Kim, he'll never stop. Okay, got a clip. Perfect. I forgot I got a clip of me. Make sure you send me that later. Kimmy says, I need to do something. I've turned into a chubby chicken over the past year. A lot of people like chubby chickens, Kim, so don't worry about that. It's just little steps. And then a lot of people are in that boat where they haven't maybe done much or been sitting home. And you've heard me, those of you that have been with me have heard me talk about how ridiculous I think it is that gyms are closed, even though I'm working online and this is kind of peak time for me. But it's ridiculous they were closed, so people didn't have that outlet. And it's really ridiculous about how it wasn't mentioned to be active, to get outside. Yes, we shouldn't go out unless we need to, but it took them over a year to say, hey, you can go outside to exercise and you should. That should have been said in March when things first happened. You can at least go outside in your yard and get fresh air. You don't have to hunker down. It wasn't mentioned. It wasn't brought. Mental health, physical health, those both benefit hugely from just being active. Not even just exercise, but being active. Walking the dog, moving yourself around. Exercise helps you work towards fitness goals, but physical activity can help with your stress reduction and management and even calorie increase and things like that too. So if we're doing less and eating the same or maybe eating more because we're home, that stuff's going to happen. So a lot of people are in that boat. So my advice to everybody is just keep things moving forward. Again, set a goal. Make sure it's specific to you and it's very detailed. Don't just say, I want to lose some weight. That's not concrete enough. Your body's not going to get into that. If you set a date and set a weight goal, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe I want to fit into the jeans or maybe I want to lose some inches, whatever it is, be specific, lay it out there, and then work backwards from that date and put yourself in place, put that system in place to work towards it. Think about what's worked for you before, what doesn't, keep yourself moving forward. That's the best way to go through with that. And again, if you any kind of plan that you're looking to put in place, if you're not sure where to start, look for a coach. A coach is someone who's been there before, who's been through what you're about to go through. It can help you with that, and they can help guide you with it. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's, again, sleep patterns, nutrition, stress management, being in abundance, having financial freedom. There's different ways to look at that to help you get through. Music and meditation is I want to celebrate my accomplishments more. I don't do that much. That's an excellent point. And most of us don't. Like I mentioned earlier, we're so quick to hamper on the negativity and our failures or what didn't work. But when we accomplish something, we kind of sweep it aside and go on to the next thing. But we should take some time to celebrate what it is we've done, what we've accomplished, because that builds our competence. Confidence builds confidence, builds confidence. The more you do and celebrate it, the more confidence you have to do more things and try new things and to know that, you know what, I can take maybe a step in this direction because I've done a little bit and had success, so I can work towards it. So then definitely have that in your reflection, build it in, have our achievements out there and celebrate them, your accomplishments, celebrate them because you want to build that confidence in yourself and keep yourself moving forward. And that's how it grows. If you've heard I think he's a next Navy SEAL, that video that's on Facebook all the time. When you get up in the morning, make your bed. They say that because it's a sense of accomplishment. If nothing else, you know what? I got up this morning and I made the bed today, and that can help get you up and get you going into that forward momentum, get you into that positive mindset and energy. Think, yeah, you know what? I got up this morning and I made the bed. Now I'm going to go do some working out, or I'm going to go plan my day, or I'm going to go into that meeting I need to. But you get a little bit of that confidence built in because you've accomplished something. So that's why that's a big key, and that's why that's suggested so often as something to do. And it makes your room look a little neater too. But that's how. But yeah, celebrate your accomplishments. Definitely bring them to the forefront. Celebrate. You don't have to make a big a deal about it. John says here, downplay our achievements because you don't want to make others feel bad. That's what we do. We downplay our achievements because we don't want to make people feel bad. But really, you don't have to. It should, if you have the right people around you. We've talked before about our circle of 5 or your circle of your friends. If you have the right people around you, they should celebrate you for what you've done and be happy for you and be proud of your accomplishments. If not, then maybe you need to, again, look at your circle that's around you, or keep it maybe a little more internal. You don't have to celebrate with everybody. Ideally, we should share with our friends and family and those that are supporting us and our coaches, but maybe at least an internal celebration to acknowledge ourselves that, yes, I did it. Again, I'm gonna do it again. Give yourself that pat on your back because you deserve it. Job well done. I did it. I accomplished something. I stuck to a plan for 6 months. Usually I last 3 weeks, but 6 months this time. I stuck to my healthy eating plan, or I gave up booze, or we gave up chips for 2 months, 2.5 months, a few months ago, a few of us together. Again, there's different ways to celebrate that. Acknowledge what it is that you do. Yeah, that's right. I did get a plug in there. I've got to borrow. My pal Blake's got a plug picture. I got to borrow that from him to put in. But yes, I did get a plug in there. Stuck that in. So we want to celebrate those accomplishments so, again, we feel good about ourselves. We can get ourselves moving forward. And again, ideally, the people in our circle, the people around us will be happy for us. They'll be proud of us. They'll want to hear about our accomplishments. And the way you can set that up is tell them what your goals are. Share your goals with your teammates, with your colleagues, with your friends, with your loved ones, with your coaches. Whatever it is, that builds an accountability, so you're a little more likely to stick with it. And then now you've got someone to say, hey, remember we talked a couple months ago when I was going to do this, this, and this? I checked the other day and I lost those 2 inches, or I lost that weight, or I ran my 10K yesterday the fastest I have. And they're going to be, yeah, good for you. They're going to be a big cheerleader for you and give you that pat on the back that you deserve for that job well done. And sometimes it's easier for us to get it, that encouragement from other people than to give it to ourselves. But it's hard for us to share what we're doing because, like John said, it seems like we're bragging a bit, but it shouldn't be. It's celebrating. And you're going to do the same thing to them when they accomplish something. They're going to say, hey, great job. Remember, you're going to do this. Hey, I get this thing done. And you're going to give them that praise and that pat on the back that they deserve. So when you tell them your goals, ask them, what is it you're working on? How can we help each other be successful with this? And again, that accountability is there. You don't want to let someone down because you've talked to them about your goals, and then you can work towards it together and then celebrate your accomplishments as you go through as well. Bonnie remembers our fun meeting with Kimmy bringing cheesecake. Yep, Kimmy's going to bring the cheesecake to our party. So I'm sure John and Cut for Cut will show up if there's going to be food. And Kimmy says, chicken. Hey, chicken's good. You have to celebrate what you're... and look at again, look at things with a bit of fun. I know most of you here, even though I don't physically know you, I know you virtually. I know a lot of you enjoy fun and having a good time and laughing. That's why you're here, because we do that on occasion from music streams or on this or on the Wise Ones show. We have a bit of fun and laugh. So we want to have that here together. So sometimes we need to not be so hard on ourselves if we're not seeing the success we want. We need to have fun with it. We need to make it, again, something that kind of almost not guarantees a success, but really ups the chances that we'll be successful. So if it's for when I teach classes, when I do something like this, when I present to a group of people, I want to have fun because that's how I want to be when I take classes from people. When I'm at events, I want to be able to smile and laugh and have fun and enjoy myself. So that's how I teach. That's how I coach people as well. I would like to have fun and laugh and smile about different things. So we bring that in. So again, it's all about finding what works for you and the system that works for you. And if you're having these little hiccups, again, back to a sports analogy, if you're starting the second half and having trouble getting out of the gate, what do teams do? They call a timeout and they regroup and they take the second and they look at what do I need to do? This plan isn't quite working. Do I need to switch to plan B? What can I do? So you've got a bunch of timeouts to use too. Don't feel like you have to set it and just go. Give it some time, give it a few minutes to get the play in place, run it a few times. And if it's not working, call a timeout, modify, adjust, and tweak as you're going through. Exactly. So like John says, and everybody here, and I mentioned to you, both survived lockdown so far. So that's an accomplishment in itself. And we should all, again, give ourselves our kudos for that. I won't say pat on your back this time. Oh, I did. That's okay. Give yourself the kudos you deserve for getting through a pandemic, a lockdown, a stay-at-home order. Bonnie's here from Quebec. She's had curfews that she had to deal with, and some of our friends have. There's been different zones and bubbles and places you can and can't go, and restrictions change and rules change and knowledge changes because it's all been so new to us. You've all gone through
over 15 months in a global pandemic. Acknowledge yourself for that. Celebrate that accomplishment. You've done it. And a lot of you are trying to get better because you're here at things like this. You've taken classes, you've built up hobbies, you've made new friends, you're taking things to get better. So you're not just surviving, you're thriving in a pandemic, thriving through a pandemic. That's a huge accomplishment that so many can't celebrate right now. So make sure that you do celebrate that. Take the time. If you did nothing else through the pandemic, but I'm sure you all did because I hear of it, you survived a global pandemic. You survived a global pandemic. You thrived during a global pandemic. Acknowledge yourself, celebrate it, appreciate yourself for that, and then take that energy and that focus and get it going and run it toward 2022. So that again, we smack down that door in 2022. We hit the ground running and we tell people, throw pandemic at us. We don't care. We've been through it already. No big deal. And you know what? It's not going to hurt us the next time as much because we're going to be fitter. We're going to have better strategies in place. We're going to take better care of ourselves. We're going to have people in positions to make the decisions that know what they're doing. But we're going to take so much control of ourselves that we're not going to worry about it. So bring it on. Throw whatever you want at us. We're ready for it. And that's the key. That's where the work and the practice and the preparation comes in now. Yes, it's fun. Yes, we want to laugh and have a good time, but this is serious thing. This is life. Life is your sport, as I say. You're all athletes. Life is your sport. Put the game plan in place. Use your halftime wisely. Reflect on what's happened. Look ahead. Strategize. Prepare. Reach out to your coach if you need to. Remember, you've got some timeouts in the bank. They carry over from the first half if you didn't call any. You've got a bucket full of timeouts. Use them to your advantage. Put a plan in place. Reflect on what it is that you've done. Make sure that you keep yourself focused, keep yourself out there, and make sure that you ascend to the end and try to get yourself going forward. Again, the more we dwell on this and sit and don't prep and don't put the work in, we're going to go back to the way things were in March 2020. That's over a year, almost a year and a half ago. We shouldn't go backwards a year and a half. We should still be going forward. And let's keep that momentum going. Let's help each other with our momentum. We've got 4 different communities here right now that are checking. And I know you guys have met before at a couple of PatFacts with Instagram and Facebook, kind of intermingling while I just held phones and you guys chatted about cheesecake and stuff. But we want to move forward. We have a community here that can help each other, be accountable, to move forward, to lean on when we're having trouble, to celebrate each other when we have those successes. Let's use that, use the circle that we have created, and then take this energy to your own communities and your own circles. I know some of you, music and meditation, she does great Instagram lives. Make sure you check her out. Again, people here from Twitch, there's different DJs and things doing things on Twitch that are providing entertainment and education. And some of them now are getting in more into education and doing things like this where they talk about some of the struggles they have or what they've learned being on Twitch. And you can take some of that experience. Maybe you're not a DJ, but maybe you want to stream, maybe you want to do something, maybe you want to just present in front of people. Then you can take some of these lessons learned and strategy. They're evolving and moving forward. They're not just playing music. They're taking it to the next level, being entertainers, being MCs and DJs, and now educators. They're coaching based on what they've experienced the past year. So again, keep yourself moving forward, keep building that momentum. Yes, thanks. Always going forward. Again, there have been too many losses around, but let's dwell on let's again celebrate the wins that we've gone through and be the ones that are going forward. So I feel like yes, always going forward. I feel like at first we're going to be the minority. We're going to be the ones that are looked at as the weirdos that came out of the pandemic and are different and doing new things and aren't working at the same places they were before. But you know what? Let them talk. We're going to be leading this charge. We're going to be at the forefront of this. We're going to be in that front row, moving the needle ahead to say, this is what normalcy should be. This is what good quality of life should be. People that put in work, that show up, that are consistent and patient and have a plan, they're going to see the success. They're going to perform at the high level that we need to be. And that's going to lead us. That's right. We're going to be thought of as the black sheep first, but we're going to grow and evolve, and everyone's going to want to be like us because we're going to be leading the way. But again, start it now. June 30th, we're in our halftime break. Tomorrow is the second part of halftime. Break it up. Reflect. Look back. Acknowledge yourself. Reflect on lessons learned. Leave it alone. Maybe come back to it tomorrow. Plan those steps to take you ahead. And let's hit the ground running. Let's finish this. Let's finish this second half of the year of 2021 with our best foot forward, with our heads up, with our energy moving forward, always growing, always ascending, making the difference in ourselves that we need to, and then that's going to make the difference in our communities that really needs to be done, because unfortunately, not many learned the lessons they needed to during this pandemic. But it's okay. They've got us to follow as an example. So that's it for tonight, guys. Again, these typically are going to be about 30 minutes or so, but I love having you all here and interacting. So I definitely wanted to keep going and get on a good topic and great content. I get excited about it. So we kept going here, but typically 30 to 45 minutes is how we're going to look at these. But again, we'll play it by ear if who's here. Thanks, Bonnie. Appreciate that feedback. Let's see here where to go. Oh, this one. I have to get this one in. My testimonial. Thanks. To like me for a coach, appreciate it. And again, if you're not following me already, again, you're here with me, so you're following me somewhere, but we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook, Instagram at POYBFit, like Pat on Your Back Fitness, Pat on Your Back Personal Fitness on YouTube, and PSavory_POYBFit on Twitch. There. So hopefully you'll give me a follow if you're on other platforms. Join me on the others. Twitch, unfortunately, the videos don't post. They don't stay. They're just there live. So if you want to go back and see them, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube are your best bets. If you're not sure where to find me on any other platform, just send me a DM of where you are and we can touch base with you that way. Thanks, guys, for the feedback. I really appreciate it. And thanks, everyone, for some good jokes. It's nice to have a laugh and smile and be able to enjoy ourselves while we're trying to learn and get better. That's how I get better, is having fun and laughing too. So have a great night, everybody. Again, we'll see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're just once a week now, but 6 p.m. Wednesday. We'll see you then. Again, stay tuned for information about Board Short Bootcamp, kind of a summer shape up for men. Details coming very, very soon, because I'm going to start in a couple of weeks, include some equipment and some different things. Very excited about that. Online fitness coaching, again, details coming soon, and online virtual fitness platform. We had it before. I'm just going to retweak it. That's going to be coming soon as well. Similar idea, a little different platform. We're just ironing out the details. Again, big things coming from Pat on Your Back, personal fitness and virtual fitness. Stay tuned. Tell a friend. Tell a bunch of friends. Anyone you think could benefit from this, please feel free to share. Any comments, any topics you want us to talk about, or guests you want me to have on. I'm looking to expand this to more of a podcast as well, whether it's live or recorded and released. There are a few different options again I'm looking at. So we'll figure that out as well. So, and we'll end on this, I guess. He's not only savory, he can also be sweet. Good way to send us out, Cut for Cut. I appreciate it. I'm going to leave that there as we roll out. So have a great night, everyone. Again, thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. And again, thanks for being a better you. That's what we want to do, is always get a little bit better. So remember, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Have a great night, gang. Stay safe. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.